Hi guys. Hi. Good morning, Christian, May. Hi. How are you?
Right.
I'll just quickly introduce you and then we'll go ahead. Right. So we have Christian with us, who's the head of global marketing at Westernacher, which is one of the biggest SAP consultancy agencies in the world. And we have May with us, who's the senior marketing manager and our day-to-day go-to person for anything HubSpot, Westernacher. Great to have you today, Christian and May. How are you guys?
Hi, good. So,
Perfect.
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
very nice to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, could you give us a quick intro into Westernacher and your role, your day-to-day, how you go about things?
Yeah, sure. So, Westernacher Consulting, as you said, is a very big SAP consulting company coming from focused on digital supply chain,
Yeah.
now more and more digital transformation. So, an end-to-end partner for the whole SAP solution world, so to say. We're based in Germany. So headquartered in Heidelberg, but we are acting all over the world. So we are acting in nearly 30 different countries all over the world, with at the moment around about 1,300 consultants or employees. So means we can serve our customers so global customers, but on a local basis. So we are more or less we can serve or work with our customers in native languages. So this is very much appreciated from our customers. Yeah, and we are now 56 years old, so founded in 1969, a bit time before SAP was founded itself. So yeah, so we are quite long in the business, I would say.
Yeah, quite long. In fact, over 50 years, that's quite a milestone. Awesome. So I just wanted to get your insight into, how marketing and sales operate within the business, how it currently works. HubSpot has been helping both the teams. Would love to get your understanding into that.
Yeah, sure. So there are different approaches how we tackle the market, so to say. So from a marketing perspective, of course, we are working very tight with our consultants. So all the assets are developed together with our consultants. We are creating campaigns, but it was more so single. It was not so connected as we wanted to have it. So means we had a campaign here, we had a webinar there, we had a white paper here, and people were registering for a webinar, they were downloading a white paper, they were attending an event. But we want to have everything a bit more concentrated, centralized. So that's where we have implemented HubSpot a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was, so to say, our marketing CRM base. So every contact we were generating via the website, via events, were uploaded, integrated on HubSpot.
Yeah.
But that was it, so to say. So the contacts were there, but unfortunately we didn't do anything with them
Fair
as
enough.
we could do it. And we know, okay, HubSpot is able and has the capabilities of doing this, of doing that, marketing automation, more focused campaigns, more automated emails, invitations, whatever. And that's why we started beginning of 2024. I think it was March 2024 to look for a partner, an agency who could support us in setting up HubSpot in the way we wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And that's where we found Growtomation or No One Metrics.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, completely agree with you. And like the first pillar of RevOps is actually marketing and sales alignment. And when like that you need to create as the marketing team of Westernacher, you need to create leads or generate leads for the sales team. And this is a capability that HubSpot can afford you. It's best to go with that, right? Like it's best to actually build your processes around doing that, right? Like building processes for that lead generation where the sales can actually convert them into paying customers. But yeah, I mean, you were using HubSpot, right? But I'm assuming you were hitting some roadblocks. So, what were these limitations that you were facing, when it came to probably lead generation or, reporting or, having more visibility into how many leads were generated, right? So what would you say on that?
When we first started using HubSpot, as Christian said, we only scratched the surface,
Yeah.
like creating email templates or sending emails and newsletters or embedding forms on our website. So we were exploring how to maximize the utilization of HubSpot, especially in reporting and lead generation.
Yeah.
So how to create a clear, well-structured dashboard with all the necessary reports, how to segment contacts effectively, and how to automate workflows, how to score leads, and how to ensure no potential leads were overlooked. And those were our initial questions before turning to one metric.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And of course, I mean, if you're working toward generating those leads, even, your superiors or your, leadership would like to see, how many leads you're generating, what kind of impact that marketing is also bringing in, and giving them the visibility is extremely important, right? Because that's what you're doing, right? But yeah, I mean, what has been this impact, of getting this visibility and, within the decision making at Westernacher? How has this reporting and visibility into these numbers helped you guys, take such informed decisions?
First side, so we recognized increasing number of webinar registrations, because it was not only based on a LinkedIn posting, like we invite you to join a webinar. So we create for each and every webinar and event email process where people are contacted several times. So for that we get more and more leads, depending on also on the different assets we have created. And another thing is to nurture leads. Means so in the beginning there were only contacts, and as May already mentioned, we have implemented this scoring model just to be able to hand over qualified leads to our sales department. So means not only to forward a registration list from a webinar, but to be able to say, okay, this is not only a one-time interest from a customer or a potential customer. So we have several touch points from this customer in the past, in the last 2 months, in the last 6 months, and based on the scoring model, we can say there is a real interest in our topics, and then to hand over it to the sales department just to contact them.
Makes sense. And you would say that, this has actually improved your ability to, get optimized campaigns and generate more qualified and, quality leads. Would you say that, this has helped you do that?
Yeah, sure. So it helped a lot to do it, but it was not only the automation in the background. So it was only also enrichment of contacts, so contact information. So in the past, if someone has registered for an SAP EWM webinar, for example, he was just a contact with a company and an email address, of course. But now it's a contact with an email address with more information about the company, the area of interest to the contact. So we can really much more target our audience, so to say, with interesting topics and new assets.
Got it. Got it. And, once all of this improved, what would you say changed in your lead generation efforts? Like, if I could ask you, what was how did your lead generation efforts change? How were they more streamlined? Were you able to, scale your lead generation? How would you say this helped?
We used to have like a separate workflow for each white paper.
Yeah.
But as our library of valuable white papers grew, so did the number of the workflows. It's like hundreds of workflows just for white papers.
Yeah.
But now One Metric has streamlined this process, consolidating all those workflows into one single unified system. And also the same applies to webinar reporting. We now have one comprehensive dashboard displaying key metrics such as registrations, attendees, and absentees, all in one place. And with these automated workflows set up in HubSpot, we have much better insights and visibility into our leads activities, like who has downloaded a white paper and who has attended a webinar and topics of interest, etc. So we can easily customize any report by checking the required boxes. And HubSpot will just process all the data in the system and generate your desired report. This automized our workflow.
Yeah.
And this automized workflow enables us to generate leads more efficiently and effectively and pass them on to our sales team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it is important, right? It is important to build all of these workflows because see, you have all of these assets going out, you have all of these events, but how do you actually understand, when to send, when to, host a particular event? Once that event is hosted, how do you actually nurture those leads, and how do you actually make them qualified enough for the sales to work upon and then close, right? So it is important, that is why I thought I'll just share this quick workflow. I mean, I'll not go in deep dive into it, but I thought, this workflow then becomes important, right? Because once you have this process map, each of your stakeholders know, when to send what, what to do when a particular lead is generated, and how to, send it across to the sales, right? Which is actually your KRA and KPI, right? But yeah, I mean, how do you tell another, HubSpot powered company, how HubSpot helps you, right? Or, what the kind of ability or the kind of, like if they're struggling with reporting or lead generation, how will HubSpot help them? So what advice would you give to other people using HubSpot?
I just have a very simple piece of advice.
Yeah.
It's just not as daunting as it seems. All you need is just patience, a systematic and streamlined process, and last but not least, one metric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, you have always been, a champion of one metric. But
thank you.
so
You're
much.
very supportive and very helpful when we have questions, and you respond very quickly.
Yeah. No, I mean, it goes both ways, right? So whenever we are in need of advice, or whenever we ask you questions, you're quite direct, and you explain really well. So it just eases out things for us. But now that you have all of these workflows set up, your webinar set up, your white paper set up, the entire workflow, lead enrichment, lead qualification, what is next, right? What is next when it comes to both in lead generation or demand generation side, and on reporting and having more visibility? What would you say is next? This is for both of you. In fact, I would love both of you to.
Yes, for me, the next step, and that's what we always already have, so to say, initiated. We wanted to have it already last year. Means a deeper connection to our sales department. So we, as the marketing department, are working with the consultants, but of course from time to time with sales, but not in an automated way. And we are using a different CRM than our sales department. And the next step for us, and I think we will have it in the next few months, is to connect our marketing CRM, means HubSpot, directly with the sales CRM, so that qualified leads are handed over directly to the right salesperson in the right region for the right topic, and that this colleague can directly work on this lead to make it even hotter, I would say.
Makes sense. What about you, May? What would you
Yeah,
say?
I agree more or less. I mean, not more or less everything what Christian said. And but I think we'll keep just maintaining clean and consistent data across our reports, and increase marketing automation, integrate tools like WordPress, GoToWebinar, and Microsoft Dynamics with HubSpot, and implement real-time reporting and dashboards to track KPIs like conversion rates and customer lifetime value.
Agreed. No, makes complete sense, because see, as much as the sales would need to have, visibility into what kind of leads are coming in, and how many qualified leads you're actually giving them to nurture and to close, you would also want to have some visibility into what leads that you're sending are actually closing, right? Because you are doing your efforts, you are day in, day out, you're generating content, generating assets to actually generate those leads to give to sales. You would also want to know, how many of those leads actually converted, right? What is the quality of the leads that you're generating from, one webinar or a white paper? And, like if you need to actually modify those, to have much better quality leads that you give to sales, right? So, and thankfully, you can integrate, as you said, you're using Microsoft Dynamics for sales and HubSpot for marketing. It's, the robustness of HubSpot's APIs allow you to connect it in such a manner that, you can have a two-way data sync, right? Where once the leads go on to sales, you will actually have the visibility into when the lead actually closes, what is the velocity of closure of those leads or customers. And, you'll also have an understanding of how many leads actually closed. So you'll have a quantitative and qualitative understanding of your efforts, right? And how much are your efforts actually being appreciated by the sales, right? So, yeah, I mean, thank you so much. This was really insightful. Always lovely talking to you, Christian, May.
Likewise.
And yeah, always eager to help you guys, set Westernacher and your as well as the sales team up for success, right? So great, thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Ankit.
you for having us.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a nice
Have a
day.
nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.